call the meeting to order. We'll start by wishing everybody a happy new year and a great 2024. We've been kind of counting people as they come in. We do have a quorum, and the staff has a record of who is here and who's on the line. Welcome to those of you watching online.
Good afternoon.
As you will, our first item of business is the election of officers. As you will know from Ray's email, I've just been reappointed to a third term. I have decided, however, to not stand for nomination for any of the executive offices. So in that respect, I'm not a candidate. Therefore, I'm declaring myself the chairman pro tem, and I'll conduct the election of the chair for the next year.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, we have two commissioners who are calling in remotely and joining remotely. If you would like to have the commission members in attendance to vote to allow them due to the sickness or exposure to sickness that is allowed as exception by the Open Meetings Act. So we would have Commissioner Stan Goza and also Commissioner Tony Mostetta on the screen, if you'd like to.
Do you want a motion?
Yes, please.
I would move that we, whatever is necessary to allow them to participate in the meeting as
Second.
full commissions.
Thank you, Carl. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, their participation is approved.
Thank you.
So I will proceed then with conducting the election for chair. Then once that's done, the new chair will take over the rest of the election and the rest of the meeting. So before doing that, I just want to remind everybody that this is an open nomination process from the floor. Any of you are free to nominate any member of any other commissioner. You're also free to nominate yourself for any of the positions. So with that said, if nobody has any questions about that process, I will call for nominations for the position of chair for 2024.
I nominate Carl Tegman.
Okay, Carl, you're willing to accept?
I am.
Right?
Give me a second on that.
Yeah, we don't need one,
Okay.
but thank you. Thank you for that approval. We should vote, I think, all in favor of that nomination. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, I'm pleased to pass the chair and the virtual gavel over to Carl.
Thank you.
You want to just trade places, or do you want to work from there? Let's trade places.
No.
This.
You feel relieved now?
I would like to go over here.
John, you feel better, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. We are now on the, we now have to elect a vice chair. And as part of that, I would entertain a motion for the position of vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Jim Fruin for the office.
Are there any other nominations that need to come before the commission? If not, I'll declare the nomination process closed and put it to vote. All those in favor of Jim Fruin as the vice chair? Say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, Jim, you have now become the vice chair of regional planning. We have one other position left, and that is the position of the designated member for the executive committee. Are there any nominations for that office?
Keith Ritter.
Okay. All right. And I guess, Jim, I'm sorry, I should have gone ahead and asked you if you would like to accept that position, but I assume you didn't have any objections on that.
Not putting his coat on.
Yeah. And such.
All
Okay.
respect, I'll take our turn.
Yeah, okay. With that in mind, we have nomination of Katie Reuter as the designated member of the executive committee. Are there any other nominations for that position? Yeah, I think we do. So, okay. All right. If not, I'll close nominations and call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. We're now, Katie is now our designated member of the executive committee, and we have our elections. And now we'll move on to public comment.
We haven't received any requests for public comments, nor those in attendance want to express any comments.
If not, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. You had distributed before you as part of the board packet the minutes, financial reports, and the staff reports for the Regional Planning Commission. Are there any questions, or are there any of these reports that commissioners would like to offer further discussion? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So
Thank you, Carl. Second. Thank you, John. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right. We're now on to the items for information or discussion. And first up is the Regional Housing Initiative update by Mark. Mark?
So for Regional Housing Initiative updates, I'll start off with the Regional Housing Recovery Plan funded through DCEO. As part of our public engagement efforts, we,
I should have.
Sorry.
do you want,
Mark.
I can hold on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. We'll do it after your report.
As part of our public engagement efforts for the Regional Housing Recovery Plan, we're going to be hosting a public forum on housing needs. You all should have received the flyer. If you did not, feel free to see one of us, Ray or myself, and we'll get you a flyer. We've been publicizing that through various channels, through our email listserv, through social media. Please continue to spread the word. We just want to give everybody a chance to voice their housing needs and recommended solutions. And we are also going to be joining 2 stakeholder workshops held by the consultant TPMA on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. So next week we'll be very busy between that and the stakeholder workshops. But the goal there is to get as much feedback in really one point in time. And then MCRPC staff did help with the Housing Assistance Coalition report back on December 5th. We met with the Housing Assistance Coalition to identify housing data available for the the Regional Housing Recovery Plan. And so the intention there is that the Housing Assistance Coalition will provide a full report from data from different agencies to help guide what the current picture is in that Regional Housing Recovery Plan. And then the next steering committee meeting is tomorrow. And we will also share that the last meeting on December 7th, we discussed major findings from the housing needs survey. I have a couple of data points I'm just going to share with you all. So just to kind of give you a glimpse there. And then overall, we received approximately 1,200 household responses. In terms of some of the data that we found, most respondents owned their home, about 70% owned their home, 30% rented. We found that one of the main critical data findings was about half the respondents, 45% reported they had difficulty covering their housing costs since the start of the pandemic, since March of 2020, to be specific. So increased housing costs was the most commonly selected reason versus maybe decrease in work hours or loss of employment. Housing costs going up was the most common answer. The type of home that received the highest support for development was single-family homes, no surprise, but there was strong support for condominiums and kind of a missing middle, if you will. And then definitely manufactured homes and multifamily were the ones that received the least amount of support. All the different types of housing, none of them had more opposing than support. So I think it shows that there's an openness for more housing. Other proposed policies that received support were replacing blighted commercial areas with residential development and required requirements and or incentives for developers to include affordable housing. And so the most common comments, people also had an opportunity to add initial comment, and the most common comment was just the need to increase affordable housing. And there's just not enough in the community. So whatever that solution is, it should ideally tie to affordable housing. And the last thing I'll mention on the Regional Housing Recovery Plan survey that we did, TPMA is our consultants for this plan. They are creating a Tableau dashboard that we will make public so that people can go in and just see the full data for themselves. And that way we're being as transparent as we can as well. So that should be coming in the next month, and we should have an update for you certainly by the next meeting. And then back on my larger updates here, MCRPC staff, we've been working with Town, City, and Bloomington Housing Authority to refine the community survey for the CDBG consolidated plan for the upcoming 25 consolidated plan period. So right now we're in the middle of just refining that survey tool. We're also trying to update and finalize our work plan. We have a current draft, but we're finalizing that work plan, gathering feedback for our logos and our timeline rather for the survey is to begin that late next spring, maybe, or rather this spring. So used to saying next year, spring to summer, we would roll out that consolidated plan survey. And then in terms of other updates, MCRPC staff submitted the application for the City of Bloomington's Community Development Block Grant funds for the upcoming 24-25 program year. Did that 3 hours ago. I'm glad that we got that done. It just seemed like it kept going and got it done today, finally. And then MCRPC staff, we facilitated, of course, our Regional Housing Initiative monthly meeting. This time it is the quarterly Affordable and Supportive Housing Committee meeting on December 18th. We had guest speaker Jolene Eldus from Habitat for Humanity of McLean County come and speak about what their portfolio is and what their numbers are. And I think just to kind of share 2 or 3 data points, in the last year, they've constructed 4 homes. They average about 5 homes per year. Of course, the last few years that's down to 4. But year to date, since 1985, they've built 197 new homes as of the end of 22. So this is about a year old. 5 houses per year average, like I said, approximately 600 individuals served. They have received, over the last 2 years, they average between 700 to 800 volunteers unduplicated. So definitely important work that they do. I think the other thing that we really learned that was really critical was just how the supply chain and inflation have really made their work 10 times more challenging. Really an amazing player. And then the last thing that we learned is that they are also doing, they have pipeline projects for more rural communities, including Lexington, Hayworth, Chinoa, Gridley. They have some projects out there that they're looking at. So they're not just serving Bloomington, Normal, they're going to serve the whole county, which is great. So excellent. I know it was a lot, but any questions?
Questions for Mark? Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a definition or a metric for affordable housing?
Yes. That's
I don't know what,
Sure.
I mean, you hear the phrase all the time, but what is? Where does the line get drawn?
Yeah, I mean, that's like a $1 million question. So it depends on, your definitions. Most circles, including those in HUD, use about 80% AMI. So area median, I was just about to say area median income. AMI is what you'll see more used, but area median income. So that's basically, I think for McLean County, AMI would be about 66,000 for a household of 2 people, roughly. And I like I said, I can also give you the more concrete numbers. But basically, you're looking at whatever the median area income is for that area, and you're taking 80% of that or less. So if it's, say, for example, 60,000, 80% of 60,000, that's your threshold. Everything, anyone who owns or earns less than that is considered eligible for affordability purposes. So again, it really comes down, sometimes you see 200% of the poverty level. A poverty level is not used that much. We've seen it a couple times, but more often than not, it's that 80% AMI threshold. Sometimes it's even 60.
I appreciate that. Thank
Of
you.
course.
Mark, one other question. Was the study done to address the issue of affordable housing or all housing?
It's all housing right now. What we're finding is that affordable housing has become more complicated, especially in the rising housing prices. IDA has, a couple reports that we've read from IDA. I'm sorry, Illinois Housing Development Authority. So used to just saying IDA.
Yeah,
Sorry, Illinois Housing
I know.
Development Authority. Thank you so much, Carl.
Yeah.
Is that that Bloomington Normal is kind of an outlier in terms of the whole state outside of Chicago in terms of skyrocketing increasing housing costs. And so we're seeing housing costs across the country and across the state go up, but Bloomington Normal and McLean County is seeing a little bit higher with Rivian on the strain there. So the Regional Housing Recovery Plan is meant to look at just kind of the impact of the pandemic, which also comes into play with inflation and supply chain issues on the local housing market. And so a lot of that is interplay between workforce housing, which often overlaps with affordable housing because most workforce entry positions don't pay, right? As they're within that affordable range. So hopefully that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Any other questions for Mark?
Happy to answer.
Thank you very much. And my apology, Kathy, I meant to introduce you, but we have a member of the county administrative staff with us today, so I will let you introduce yourself.
I'm Kathy Dreyer. I'm one of the assistant county administrators for McLean County.
Welcome.
Cassie
And-
couldn't make it, so she asked me to sit in.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. And we have a new commissioner, Rory from the town of Normal. Rory, I'll let you introduce yourself to the rest of the commissioners.
Hi, I'm Rory. I lived in the area for about 4 years. Was actively Navy. Now I work for State Farm and just left Navy Reserve.
Welcome. Thank you. All right, we're now on to our Vision Zero Go Safe McLean County Action Plan. Ray, I understand you're going to talk about that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you already know that we have received a few grants. So our plan is to issue RFPs, the request for proposals in the next couple of weeks. There's some delay because because staff out because sickness and because of the holidays, and we also lost one staff member, and so but we do plan to issue an RFP in a couple of weeks, and so that what that do is we'll get consultants to respond hopefully to the projects for the Veterans Parkway and the safety, transportation safety, and then we'll carry on the project. But also on a separate note, that you probably aware that we have some short videos out. We post on our website and also the social media to help promote transportation safety. And there's some short videos and also one longer one. So if you haven't got a chance to view those there, please do and help to promote those. We kind of like a flyer, we want to spread that to the community so people are aware there are ways that you'll be concerned about the traffic safety, be more cautious about that. Thank you for your support and just make our community safer.
Any questions for Ray on Go Safe? All right. I'd like to bring the attention of the commissioners to our 2024 meeting dates, which are item 7C in your package. Our next meeting is February 7th in this location. as well, but all of the future meetings for 24 have been included. So thank you, Ray, and the staff for including that for us all.
Sure.
Is there any other items or topics that need to come before the commission? If not,
Are we thinking we're gonna be in here for most of these from here on out?
Yeah, yes, we do. Yeah, because last year, because the renovation of the chamber now is done, and there's some meeting conflict with this room, but now I think making this available. So we hope there won't be any other situations that like out of our control.
It is much nicer than here.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it's a little more conducive, especially given the size of our committee
Exactly.
and such.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
all right. Are there any other topics that need to come before the commission today? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Thanks, Bart. Second? Second. Or Chuck. With that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. We stand adjourned. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Tony, for joining us today.